IDRL SAH Season 2 Grand Finale. This is between ZDR and HHR. The captains, Devnath against Shady, Wingman Air Toast against Bungos, and finally Airman Logic against Astronaut. We welcome you all to a live event, the grand finale of season 2. We are live and we already have viewers on both our platforms. This is the grand finale that we have been waiting for season 2. And it's all coming down to the finalists, ZDR, Zine Drone Racing from Team Jaipur versus Hyderabad, the Hellraisers. It's 17th of October and we are on a hell of a ride because this is a fantastic track that we have brought to you, and this is one of the toughest tracks for the toughest teams on the planet today. We thank our sponsors before we get started. One Martian Way, GLRC, GetTBS.in, Quadcopters, and Zine Drone Racing. We now have the scoreboard, and we will be, as usual, playing our rounds 1 to 10. There's going to be no change in the format of this game as well. The teams are going to play with the heads on as one against one, second against second, and third against third positions. And then they're going to calculate 3 points for each round. And finally, for round number 10, we're going to have 5 points for position number 1 and 3 points for position number 2. So that's the quickie for the scorecard out here. And let's go right into our staging arena out here. But before that, let's quickly fix something out here so that it becomes easier for the viewers for the scoring, and then we enter the finals out here. So let me see the qualifying leaderboard out here so that we can fix the positions. All right, so this is, does anybody have the qualifying positions posted? Okay, can you post the leaderboard, please?
I've sent it to you, Karan. I've sent it to you.
On WhatsApp?
Yes.
Okay. All right, got it. So this is going to be Shady against, who is it? Shady against,
Should we just tell Karan?
all right. Just hold on for 1 minute. Figure out the positions out here. Uh, okay, so it's going to be Shady against Air Toast, I believe. So that's Air Toast up there. And then we're going to have Logic against Bungos.
What?
Is that Logic against Bungos, right? Yeah. No, it's Logic against Devnath. Okay.
What? Yeah, it's Logic against Devnath. Yes.
Got it. So, and then finally we have
What? What is going
Air Toast. Finally we have Shady
What?
against Sorry. Hold on. I'm a little confused here.
Karan, are
Devnath.
you okay?
Yeah, this is kind of odd. Okay, so Air Toast, Devnath. Okay, got it. And then finally,
Strategy.
last position is.
Karan, can I just tell you, we can just like.
Okay, Air Toast against Shady, Devnath against Logic. And who's the final position?
No, it's Shady versus Vishal. It's Logic versus Astronaut, and it's me versus Bangkok.
Can you give me that again? Shady versus?
Vishal.
Okay. And then,
Bangos versus Devnath.
okay.
You just got played.
And finally, we have the third one.
That one is the remaining Logic versus Astronaut.
All right. Logic against astronaut. All right, we got this figured out. Sorry for the interruption. To our viewers, this is the final draw out here. It's going to be Shady against Vishal or Air Toast, Bangos against Devnath, and finally Logic against Astronaut. So that's how the teams are distributed right now. And let's go straight into the race here and begin our round number
Is
one.
Rati not here?
There's no Rathi today. And
Oh,
yes.
oh damn.
All right. So, guys, be ready on the podium. We will be starting round number one anytime soon now. So, let's give it a count. Another 15 seconds for you guys to settle down on the podium. And there you go, guys. Let's go at the count of less than five.
First race, boys.
Good luck for the first race. We are at round number one. Welcome, everybody. This is a fantastic opener and the grand finale. This is ZDR versus HAR. Right now, we are into the eyes of Bangos, but we should tune into Shady because Shady has taken the grand lead out here straight away. And Devnath is in the second position. But keep in mind that Devnath isn't competing against Shady at the moment. So there is a different bit of strategy that these two teams have employed so that they get the maximum turnaround of their scoring to be in a commanding position. Let's take a look at this from a slightly different third person perspective, and we will try to cover as many angles as possible. This is a very nightish drone track, nothing else other than the lighty LED gates you can see over here. So let's try to figure out the track with you. There are a couple of gates out there right now. We are following Bangos. Let's follow Shady out here. Shady once again back towards one of those pink gates coming down into the drop down square one. And there is a 4 square gate structure that these guys are doing. So uh, that is level 3 and gate number 3941 for Shady. And Shady gets the first position out here. And finally, we are going to also switch to Bangos. This is the tunnel that they have to go through right before coming back into the finish position. So Bangos and Shady have completed their respective race. Devnath has also completed. Logic has completed. The only ones remaining are Astronaut and Air Toast. So it is about time that Air Toast is about to get about. He's roughly 11 gates away now from the finish position out here. And Air Toast will still take more time, but that will not count. So let's have the official scoring out here now, and let's display the scoring for you as well so that you can follow the lead with us out here. So this is the position so far. Shady, 1 minute 25 seconds. Fantastic breakthrough out here for him right from the start. Shady wins against obviously Vishal, who is still to complete his race. Bangos is going to again win against Devnath. It was pretty damn close, but Devnath will want to really do even better now. And Logic finally against Astronaut. So Logic got it. So it's a clean sweep. Well, sorry. Yeah. Uh, Not really. Hold on. This
What is
is,
happening to Karan?
yeah, got it. So this is 2 points against one in the favor of the Hyderabad Hellraisers. So let's count that 2 points against one. Okay. So guys, your next lap starts right now. And let's get going at the count of less than 5. Tuning this time straight into astronaut. Devnath is in the lead, quickly taken over by Shady out here. And Shady against, and look at that, astronaut is in the first position right now. So he's doing some dive gates out there, doing the 4 block green structure, coming roundabout, again doing some of those dive gates. These are pretty hard to cover because you have to power loop through all these gates. A lot of skill is employed over here by these pilots. Shady right now in top position, Bangos coming in second, and Logic in third position. So let's take a look at this from Logic's point of view. Logic is showing us the track, but he has had a crash right now. So look at that. They have to really power loop that element out there, climbing into from the pink trails into the green gate out there. And let's take a look at Devnath. Devnath has slightly climbed up against his own fellow wingman Logic. As he comes back to the start position, he has one more lap to do, Devnath. This is a very, very quick track because these pilots themselves are very, very quick, and we have set some of the highest level standards out here for these pilots. So this is that 4 gate square structure now coming back into the hexagonal LEDs and coming back towards into the start gate. So that'll finish the draw almost for Devnath. He was right on the money there, but he will get his 1 point for sure, and so does Shady. So Astronaut is the only person that is on the fifth position. Air still has to get quite a little warmed up, I believe, because Air Toast has been at the bottom rail in sixth position continuously for this round as well. And let's now take a look at the scorecard out here. So that is it. Shady is going to score his 1 point. And finally, we have Devnath is going to take over Bangos. Logic has won against Astronaut. Oh, wow. So this time it's a turn of events here. So these guys level up the positions. Fantastic. And this is the kind of competition that we would like to see. The first one was definitely HHR, but this time ZDR has come back fighting. And without any further delay, we're going to start round number 3 at the count of less than 5. Superb gameplay so far. These pilots, we aren't really seeing the sixth pilot right now. Somebody is not yet taken off from the podium position, and I believe it's from the Hyderabad Hellraisers. So Team ZDR has a complete control right now to gather that 1 point. But yeah, that's what it is, and I believe Bangos is missing from the draw. Bangos hasn't really taken off, or he was uh, somewhere lost. I don't know what has happened out there with Bangos,
Was
but
it before the race? Was it before the race?
no. And there you go. Now we're tuning into Logic. Let's take a look at this from the third person perspective. You can see Logic doing those dive gates. Again, one dive gate and then into the other, and then they have to come back into uh, this orangish hexagon, then into the orange tunnel, go back into the start gate, and redo the track. So I hope the track becomes a little bit clear to our audience, because there isn't anything other than the gates, as I said, to really mark the track, so to speak. And we are trying to cover as many angles as possible. But right now, Devnath, who is about to complete his track, Logic as well, keeping at position number 3, and finally Astronaut and Air Toast coming in there. Uh, Air Toast again at the last position. Astronaut looks like he's trying to get a little faster now, Astronaut, but he's crashing again eventually at the last two gates. That's going to cost him dearly on the timing out here. Finally, he manages to complete his track. So that's the story. We just have till now four pilots who have completed. Of course, Bangos does not score out here. Shady does score very consistent points by Shady, and Logic has beaten Astronaut out there, and definitely Devnath has also by default got the point. So now it's ZDR who is climbing against HHR out there on the bottom left. All our viewers, you can see what
Wait for
the
Bangos.
score line is right now. And we will see if we have a Bangos again. Looks like he left the server. Bangos, the server is back again for you. Please join quickly. We wouldn't like to uh, have any more delays out here. Welcome our viewers again on YouTube. This is round number three that just got completed. We are into a very fine finale action out here on a very, very difficult track that's very apt for these top class pro pilots. And so it looks like we are ready to go for round number four. Please do not disconnect and please remain on the track. So round number four coming right in front of you in less than five.
Wait, stop, 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 stop.
What happened? Hold
One
on.
second, I lagged out. Like, okay, okay. I mean, yeah, it's fine now. Yeah, okay, it's
All
fine.
right, please keep in mind that I'm not going to wait for anyone, irrespective. So please be
JD,
attentive. Hold on, guys.
JJ.
I'm going to restart this one.
No,
So is
no, no, not
Bangos?
Bangos.
What's the point with Bangos? Okay, he's right there, right? Okay.
You cheeky,
Okay,
cheeky
guys, at the
Bangos.
count of less than five, please connect and focus right now. This is round number four coming up for you guys.
Karan heard that, so.
Let's pick up Shady now. Shady, a very, very fast pilot out here. You see some of these blackish areas. Those are actually some hard rocks out there. You can see how Shady is doing that power loop from that roller coaster pink rail into the dive gate. Now he's showing us some of the remaining elements of the
Yeah,
track.
exactly
So you
heard that.
hope you get the flow of the track now. Uh,
Dude, oh
this is
my
a very,
god.
it can be a very short track for some of the fastest pilots, but they have to really nail it
Dude,
in.
VPN.
There isn't
Choose some
really
other
much
VPN.
chance to really make some mistakes out there. And especially this four gate structure is kind of complicated. So that really adds to the complexity of the track. Now, Shady looks very promising. Let's tune into Devnath. Devnath is having a little bit of a floating kind of a respect for these gates. He hasn't really nailed it right now, but look at that. He's way behind Shady at the moment. That's not something that we expect almost 20 gates away from Shady. But Devnath also is a player that tries to come back very quickly. Right now, he's overtaken by his own wingman. He's saying to Devnath that let me handle this captain for myself right now, and you be and cover myself. But so look at that. Devnath is making some errors, and so is Logic. Both of them not their finest form on this round, but you can see both the trails of these two pilots in very, very close touch with each other. And finally, I think it's going to be Devnath is going to come to the finish line. So that's how Logic comes behind at third, and Air Toast coming in now at his usual speed. Okay, but this time Air Toast has caught on to some fire on his tail. I think he's getting a little bit more serious on the track. He's speeding up, and he definitely wants to score for Team ZDR out here. So only problem for him is that his speed is not too encouraging at the moment at some of these gates, as you saw. But let's hope that he's at least ahead. Bangos failed out at lap number one itself. Some damage happened to Bangos out there, and so it's going to be a little bit challenging for him to
Is
complete
Bangos
the
out of
remainder of this race.
flag?
Let's see the positions so far and count them down. And what we have on the screen so far is Shady as usual. His um, his fourth win in a row out here. And let's mark that in for Shady. So that's point one. And then Bangos hasn't won it against Devnath. So Devnath has won it. And then we have Astronaut against Logic. So Logic has definitely won it as well. So players from HHR team really disappointing right now at the moment. Shady, their captain, doing all the heavy lifting for them. So it's not really a team play right now as he had expected. So there needs to be some kind of a motivational aspect going on. But as long as Shady keeps scoring, it should be good enough as long as they're not losing 3-0 on each round. Right now, the point difference is 7-5. That's the story so far. So let's see for this final set of pilots. Astronaut looks like he's stuck as well. If you can give us a confirmation that Astronaut has, in fact, run out of fuel on this particular round. I think he's stuck. Okay. So there you go. Nothing for Astronaut and nothing for Bangos. Unfortunate events. And let's go, boys, now at the count of less than five. We are taking ourselves into round number five just before the halftime break.
Correct, Bangos is not in the session.
Just hold on 1 minute. There is some confusion out here. Hold on.
Bangos is out of the session.
Hold on. So can you repeat that, please?
Bangos is not in the session.
Okay, so let's open up the server. Bangos is getting disconnected time and again, but we have allowances for that. 2 minute timer for Bangos has started. Bangos, please join in. Your 2 minute timer has started.
The lag, the lags is
So, story
interesting.
so far as we can say is that Shady and his team started off on a bang of a start, and then really some of their pilots did not contribute. But this time they're looking to get back into the game. So, let's see how this round number five goes by. And based upon that, we will be going into our halftime position. So, let's go,
Did we
pilots.
set the flag?
Okay, hold on, hold on.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Headset to for flying. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
All right, guys. So this is the final call at the count of less than five. You're now tuned in to Logic. Logic, one of the final players out there. He really does a good job right now. At position number four, we ought to follow the leader out here, Shady, who is again doing that power loop. Look at that fantastic run, having no problem whatsoever doing those four gate structures as well. That's basically uh, two gates that are lined up against each other vertically, and you have to do that in a crisscross fashion. That does take some amount of skill, and Shady seems to have really perfected that. And let's see where Logic is right now. Logic is also going through one of those gates into the dive gate with the power loop straight away. And Logic's level of expertise looks pretty close to Shady, except that Shady is just a little bit faster out there. In fact, a whole lot faster. So Shady continues to keep the lead. So the pilot to watch maybe is Bangos. Look at that. Bangos has come in from nowhere whatsoever. And this time, I guess he's giving it up to Devnath. So let's catch the action between Devnath and Bangos out here, because these players are rivalry against each other, and they are competing fast and hard. This time, Devnath looks like has really crouched over Bangos. Bangos left in the dust for the lack of speed and some mistake from his end. Gives complete room to Devnath to complete there with a clean win. and Bangos ultimately not in his finest form. He did come back. He did make a good comeback, but it wasn't good enough. And finally, Astronaut in the fifth position. We haven't really seen the sixth player really take off over here. So unfortunate story for one of the pilots from Team ZDR. So it looks like what we have on the scoring should be probably equal out here, as round number 5 shows that Shady is in position number 1. Devnath, of course, he beats Bangos out there. And let's see, Logic. So Logic also beats Astronaut out there. And so that was yeah, so that didn't really change the eventual result for ZDR. ZDR continues to command the lead. They are now 3 points away, quickly running away from Team HHR. HHR has to do something quickly, get their players back. So players, please get your teammates back. There seems to be some amount of disconnection out here. So the server is open now. Till then, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll give you a couple of minutes, viewers, to come back for the remaining 5 rounds of this grand finale. So stay with us, and this is going to be a rocker of an end because it's going to go down right to the wire. This is, of course, going to go down to round number 10, which is going to be anybody's game. None of these teams are going to keep a difference of more than 8 points. So anybody at the last round is going to take this or break it or make it. And so just to recap for some of our viewers who came in early or who are just late or who are just kind of joining us right now, we see quite a bit of you on Facebook and YouTube joining us now. And round number 5, I'll recap the story for round number 5, 1 to 5. And so what happened was HHR took a lead in round number 1 with 2 points to 1, a fantastic start for them. But quickly, ZDR leveled it off for them, and you can actually follow me on the bottom left of the scorecard as well. And this was the draw where we had a little bit of confusion where who was going to play against whom, but finally we struck it to Shady against Vishal or Air Toast. Let's just quickly change it to Air Toast because that's his actual call sign out here. And yeah, so Air Toast that was. So Shady against Air Toast, Bangos against Devnath, and Astronaut against Logic. And so ZDR came in quickly to patch up that 1 point difference at round number 2. And then again, they took the leads in all of the remaining 3 rounds. So that 1 point additional has given them a good, fair lead of 3 points. Now, HHR has to gather up. Either they can really do 3-0 in round number 6, or they can distribute the difference of 3 points over the course of the next 3 rounds. That will take it up to round number 8, and then it will have to be either round number 9 or round number 10. Mostly round number 10, that's going to be an absolute decider for these teams in the grand finale because they are really heading against each other, really like two bulls fighting out here. And again, on a very fine night and a very fine a very fine track. So let's see if our players have really come back. Looks like everybody has joined in. I just have to put them into flying mode and we should be good to go. So after your popcorns and sodas, good to see you back, viewers. And so pilots, let's get going at the count of less than 5. This is round number 6 that starts right now after halftime. Wow, the sudden break. Bangos wanted to get there on a quick start, but wasn't able to capitalize on that lead. And that was going to put him into first and fifth position right away. Now, Devnath coming right behind Shady. Let's take the action from a slightly different view. Look at that. The Devnath is trying to get closer and closer to Shady, but Shady is right away somewhere. He's a good amount of lap difference now, about 3 gates away from Shady. Let's tune into Devnath's first person perspective. We should be able to spot Shady as we get closer and closer. And if we can see some kind of a green tail, that's the sign of a Shady. Look at that. He's getting very, very close to Shady, and I think he's a very force-minded. Devnath looks like he's come back strong from the halftime run out here. And right now, he's in position number one. Wow. But it's neck and neck right now. This will be very, very interesting to see both these pilots. Look at that, chasing the tail of each other, hot on the tails. And as they do the dive gates together, and they come back into that four-gate vertical structure also. Devnath trying to get closer, but he was really kind of blinded away by Shady's fast run out there. Shady eventually taking the run, happy in his boots, and Bungos is going to probably land in the third position unless Logic really comes back hard. But Logic and Bungos are the only two players currently in lap number 3. So Atos and Astronaut, they still have to cover quite a bit to get to the finish line. And Logic, if we see himself getting to the finish line. And there we go. And Atos and Astronaut. Looks like Astronaut has probably, again, he has crashed somewhere. There isn't a recharge gate. Also keep that in mind. So actually, it's going to be a call off for Astronaut. Air Toast really is in the 5th position right now. So with that in mind, let's take it throughout here for round number 6. Shady takes the win, 1 point. Then Bungos against Devnath. Devnath takes the win out there. It's a good level up out there.
That's
And
filthy.
then finally, Logic against Astronaut. So Logic, of course, takes the win against
That that
Astronaut.
that
And
changing names. It
so
was
that's
something
the
other than
scoreline right now. Again, Team ZDR taking that crucial 1 point. They are increasing their point difference by 1 point once again. And that's a 4 point difference now between ZDR and HHR in favor of Team ZDR. So pilots, let's get going now. All right, pilots, let's get
this
going
is a
now
team race, not an individual race.
at the count of less than 5. All the pilots ready, have to be absolutely focused. HHR, if they have to really take it away from here, quite a bit of pressure now building on the hands of the captain Shady.
It's a team race.
Shady is, oh, look at that. An astronaut is in the first position right now. What a fantastic run he's got. And he is determined with his captain to really make this count. So astronaut and Logic, these are the two pilots competing against each other. And so astronaut Logic has really pulled it away from astronaut at the moment. So it's really Logic and Devnath. Devnath will try to again come back from behind. He doesn't have much pressure as a captain right now, but the other boys do have. So astronaut really following way behind now. I'm not sure why that happens. Maybe he again, look at that. He again has been stalemated there at lap number 2, gate number 6. So astronaut looks to be virtually out of this race now. That's again disappointing news for team HHR. No real encouragement here. The only point of hope is Bungos against Devnath, unless Bungos really has to catch something now, catch Devnath's tail, and he's coming back really from behind out here. He's about 10 gates away from Devnath. Be interesting to see because that's the only interesting competition going on between Bungos and Devnath at the moment. But Devnath has really put Bungos far into the stray out here, and he picks up the win. So it looks like the same story again for round number 7. This is again becoming very repetitive in terms of the point system out here. Round number 7 again stolen by Shady at the top, but then Bungos and Astronaut contributing nothing at all, giving it away to the 2 points for ZDR, and that takes ZDR's strength to 5 point difference. Now they have to at least try to cover up some of these points, a couple of points that will keep them in a very, very competitive position. So Team HHR needs to really take a little bit of a breather out here and needs to re-strategize quickly if they have to get back into this game. Because this game is becoming very, very competitive now. And if they have to also keep up with ZDR, they have to really get competitive. So, boys, let's get going at the count of less than five. It's round number 8. That's Logic who's taken off. Now it's Shady in the run out there. Coming back, look at that. Beautiful flying from Shady, power looping into the dive gate, going through the brick structure and coming back into the dive gate. Again, the hexagonal tunnels out there looking fantastic from the point of view of Shady. So Shady has really set in his mood, but look at that. Who is following Shady very, very closely out here? It's Captain Devnath. And this is the kind of competition that we have to really see now. And Bangos, look at that. Bangos against Devnath. It's really between Bangos and Devnath actually in terms of the. And look at that. Devnath is right at the top now. So it's very, very hard to see. People are really going off the charts out here in all kinds of directions. And it's difficult to know right now who is in the position to command. Right now, it's very, very wavy, but hope that Team HHR is able to compensate for some of the points out here. Shady definitely is taking it. It's all up to Bangos now. And Bangos, if he can really, really manage to get behind from that position for Devnath, but he has to be really quick now. Look at that. It has to be really, really quick now for Devnath because if he doesn't, Devnath again picks up that point. Again, Logic scores definitely against Astronaut. Astronaut went a little bit far away now. He's right now stuck out there trying to come out of his position out there, but not having any chance of whatsoever. Is absolutely mortified and petrified. Astronaut is on the floor right now. Air Toast is probably the only player remaining who can complete his final lap. And there you go. And we have that's the scoring now. Look at that. Fantastic timings now. Shady really getting close to 1 minute 24 seconds on the track. Picks up his first position. Bangos has lost it against Devnath one more time. He's trying his level best, but still not able to get closer and closer to him. Logic, of course, has beaten Astronaut because Astronaut, by default, has been eliminated from the track. So that's the story. Again, the same story out here, increasing their point difference to 6. Now it has to be really kept to 5 or 7. 7 is still okay because they have an 8 point chance, but if they have to cover 8 points and win it, HHR will have to go for both the top positions. Definitely the top position looks in the favor of Shady right now, but Bangos will have to really make it or break it for HHR right now. This is going to go right down to the wire, so stay with us. It's about getting really, really hot on the track right now. Atos now showing us the track. So pilots, let's get going at the count of less than 5.
Is this the last race or 9 race?
This is the round number 9, and after that, there'll be one more round. So this is the penultimate round that's coming up. Still very, very important. Look at that. Devnath having a crash right at the start, but he's a player that can come back from nowhere. So do not keep a slack on Devnath. Devnath is well on his recovery mode right now. And so it looks like between Bangos and Devnath, this is the killer point out here. If Bangos can really take that win, keep it really, really steady and going, then he really doesn't have much to fear from Devnath. And Bangos, look at that. Bangos has in fact climbed ahead of Logic. He is in fine performance. He's looking really superb out here. HHR might just take this and also might take the next win out here. So against Logic, it doesn't really matter. But Devnath is losing against Bangos, and that's really, really worrisome for Devnath. Devnath is trying his level best, but his last gear isn't really working that well right now. He's stuck at lap number 2. Lap number 3 now going towards Bangos out here. Bangos really trying to capitalize all his best out here, and he is really going all for the kill. He wants that desperate 5 points difference as he goes into the final trail of the round number 10, and that will be the decider. And this is sort of the warm-up. But look at that, Devnath against Bangos, very close pilots. Again, Devnath trying to chase his best, but Bangos has taken that point, and the top 2 positions go for the team HHR and Bangos. Wow, Shady and Bangos. And look at that, what an amazing display of performance there was. By the way, the session is open now, Astronaut, but we'll count those points in now. There is a difference out here. Looks like Air Toast, okay, it's Logic that took up the point against Astronaut. That's the only point that team ZDR got. So it's a 5-point game, viewers. It's a 5-point game, and if HHR has to take it away, they have to score both at the first and the second positions, and ZDR just has to take the second position out here to win this particular finals. So that's the story that's going to end up out here. Very interesting out here. So round number 10, the finale, the grand one. Nothing can beat this game. Let's all take a little bit of a deep breather, because pilots need to relax. They want to do some, we'll give them a little bit of a 30-second gap so that they can get ready for this round. They have to get very strong internally as well, keep their mind composed. This is everything on the money now, and we didn't expect that it would come down to such close difference of gameplay in terms of the points, but it has. And anybody, as I said, can win a 5-point game going into the big 8-pointer of round number 10. All right, pilots, now get back on your remote controls on the podium. Let's lock it in for Astronaut. We will put you on flying. This is a do or die situation for all the pilots. So pilots, all the best. At the count of less than 5, here you go. The big one, round number 10 coming up, and we couldn't be more thrilled now. And let's see from the point of view of the biggest player out here, Astronaut, right in the lead, and he is beginning to really make it good for his captain. Looking really good. Shady as usual at the very top. Devnath and Logic have to really keep it very competitive at the top as well. Look at that, a 2-point game between Devnath and Shady. 2 gate of difference, and Devnath is looking really good out here. Astronaut and Bangos at the 6th position, at the very dire position. Can Shady and Astronaut, can Astronaut really pull it in? Can Bangos really come back from behind? These are all the questions that are on the line right now. Astronaut is pulling it up right now. He can really pull it up against Logic if he wins this race, but it's going to be against, irrespective, there is no individual difference. It's only first and second positions out here. So it all coming down to Shady and Devnath, and Astronaut really is about quite a few gates away here. Shady keeping it really well behind Devnath out here. Devnath is trying to beat even Shady at the moment, and he's about a gate away, just at the very gate. Last round coming up. Shady is 3 and 2 points gate away. He's really maintaining that lead. Look at that, Shady coming in. Shady at almost the last tail end of the track. Shady wins, and so does Devnath. So That is 5 points for HHR and 3 points for uh, Devnath and team ZDR. So, wow, unfortunately, the final score line with that becomes 19 is to 16, and team ZDR has won it out here. The grand finale, ZDR versus HAR, has gone in favor of the former, and ZDR, Zion Drone Racing. You guys are the champions, the new kings of IDRL SAH season number 2. What a performance this was. We had it right till the very end. We had all our viewers on the edge of their seats. What a fantastic night this was. And let's now see what the other pilots are doing. Looks like everybody is now tuning out because they have won it. Congratulations. And we will now invoke the interviews of these pilots. Congratulations, pilots. Congratulations, Team ZDR. An amazing win. ZDR would be doing like this, and they would be like celebrating all throughout the night. And HHR would be really, they were just about in. You saw that Bungos at round number 9. He was looking like he was going to take position number 2 at round number 10, but he just couldn't make it. In fact, he was at position number 5, eventually at position number 4, and both Bungos and Astronaut failed miserably at the last round. Under the pressure, they crumbled, and Devnath and Logic took it away for Team ZDR. So ZDR, once again, congratulations, the big kings and the champions this time. So definitely HHR has a point to prove for the upcoming SAH season number 3 that's going to come up in the next 3 weeks time at the start of the month of November. Now, let's get going with our interviews as usual, and let's see if we can now bring upon uh, our captain from in the second place, HHR captain. We have Shady. Welcome, Shady. Welcome to the interview box. Shady, you're there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, Shady. Looks like you are disappointed right now. Your voice is a little mellow.
Yeah, very disappointed in Devnath for being a pussy.
All
He
right,
set
so
fake times just so that he couldn't race me. Nice. Good going, Devnath. Good going. Yeah.
all right, so just let us know what was the strategy. Why are you saying such things to Devnath, and what happened? Like, what was the strategy that they employed?
The strategy was Devnath tried to get an easier opponent so that he can win.
But that's the kind of loophole. Isn't that something that you would have really prepared for? Wasn't something that you were already expecting?
No, no, I expect this kind of stuff from Devnath.
So, I mean, you would have really appreciated if he would have really taken you head on, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll take that answer from Devnath when we
Just
get to the
Devnath,
winning.
maybe get some testosterone, supplements to grow some.
Okay, looks like we need to get to an Ayurvedic medical store nearby and get some stuff
Yeah.
delivered to Devnath quickly as possible. But good going, Team Hyderabad, and there was no, of course, in spite of the situation right now, there is nothing, there was no electricity that went off today as you feared. And as we always have, when there is a competition, right down to the wire, and it was all good, ran very smoothly. So, uh, how did you feel about that?
I mean, I did all I could.
Okay. And so, how did you find the track? I think when you were talking to me the other day, you found it very difficult. You were not able to even complete the track. So, what
Yeah.
made it? What made the difference that you were doing the
Nothing,
track
the
so well?
track just requires a little more practice, and that was my first try, so I thought it was hard.
Definitely, the track was definitely tough. Was it one of the most difficult tracks that you have seen at SAH so far? Would you rate it as the
Yeah,
most
maybe.
difficult? All right. And so, what would you say to your boys, to your team, Bangos and Astronaut? I hope they are not too disappointed or anything like that. You should
It's
be, I
okay. It
mean,
wasn't their fault.
yeah. And I mean, they tried their level best. So, I mean, you guys would be definitely re strategizing, coming back for all these kind of loophole actions, even if next time they've not employed the same strategy.
If I wanted to try loopholes, I could have, but I don't want to.
All right. So that
There
gives.
is no rule against changing names. We could have done that. We just have a little more, morals.
All right. So it comes down to morals finally, and Shady not playing anything shady in this finals. The only shady aspect, according to him, was Devnath's strategy. So thank you very much, Shady. Welcome, Devnath. First of all, a big congratulations. You are the grand finale champion, season two, IDRL SAH. How is it? There must be lots of loud noises and all sort of celebrations going on at your end right now.
Not at my end, but yeah, maybe Shady's it.
Why do you think that? I mean,
I don't know. He seems to be furiously typing right now.
all right. So to the question of Shady now, and he said that your strategy was not really correct. It was immoral for you to do that. Very very shady act on part of you. What is
Mm,
your answer to him?
Karan, if you have noticed, I think for the past 3 or 4 races, all teams have been doing this sort of, qualifying time setting, and it's not unique to us in any way.
Right.
KKR did this on their match with us,
Right.
and they also reaped the benefits when we were unprepared. So, like, we essentially just took a cue from them
Yeah.
and did it. And essentially, it all came down to logic because Shady was scoring consistently, and I was also scoring consistently. So the actual race was between logic and astronaut. And this is where having a good team helps because it's team racing, not individual racing, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So
So that's well said by you. I think you have got some valid points out there, definitely, to counteract the position of Shady. But so overall, you must be really happy with your boys. I mean, they really did well, and Logic definitely, we saw him perform really well out there.
logic was the one who carried the team because it was all down to him in the end. I mean, even Bangos, like, he gave me a run for my money, but yeah, it all came down to logic.
So, did you have any doubt that Logic would face difficulty against a pilot like Astronaut? Because I don't know what happened to Astronaut, but Astronaut just kept crashing, and that was a big surprise to me.
Yeah, no, I didn't have doubts, but logic was really good. He performed really well, and I'm really proud of him.
All right. So, finally, last few words on this whole season that you went through. How was the whole season, and how are you looking forward to the next one?
The whole season was really fun. As a whole, like we had many multiple tracks, really fun to fly, and we raced against a lot of people in the community. So it was really fulfilling from end to start. And I hope the next season it's a bit more tight because this season stretched out like really too long.
Yeah, we'll keep it definitely tight, take all those inputs. But right now, definitely, we will leave you for your party celebrations out there. And do enjoy, and we will see you later tonight on Among Us. And
Yes,
so,
Karan.
all right, so that's the interview from the commentary box out here. Both the captains giving in their interviews. Finally, in spite of a few doubts and suggestions by Shady, we finally have got it squared out. So everything is fair in love and war, as they say. This is a perfect example of that. And having said that, we'll leave it on that note. The season two was fantastic. We had a different take on it from season one. Season one was definitely all solo pilots this time and somewhat team pilots, but this time we had city franchises and we're going to get it bigger and tighter, as we said to Devnath in season number three. So, bigger, better, and grander season awaits you at the start of November, and also a season five jerseys for those people who are waiting for them eagerly are coming They are due very much soon. We have already given the final print to the manufacturer. The manufacturer is about to really get it all ready now in anytime soon in the next 7 days, and we will keep you updated. Do join IDRL if you are new to the whole thing. Go to droneracingindia.com and sign up, or just download the IDRL app. That's where all the latest features are and all the greatest pilots you'll find. We have now about 2,400 pilots on the platform, and we have loads of help and support for each one of you. It's a very, very nice community, and we will have races continuously throughout the rest of this year. Nevertheless, season SAH season 2, again, very, very nice. And I would like to thank personally all the pilots, especially the two captains right now who gave in their best, and also the captains from the remaining teams that competed. We had a total of 8 teams that made it, and hoping to make it bigger the next season. And once again, finally, the sponsors, One Martian Way, HGLRC, GetTBS.in. We have big prizes from HGLRC and GetTBS.in. As a matter of fact, let's announce that very quickly if some of you are interested in knowing what the prizes are for these pilots. So let me quickly push it up out here and search for you what are the prizes. We have pinned it somewhere out here, and so we will quickly take that pin and announce what the prize distribution is. All right, so that is all right. We got it. So the first position. Now the first position goes to obviously team ZDR, who won it. Again, big round of applause to them. They get rupees 4,600. The 3 team players, plus they get 3 Zeus 5760 stacks from HGLRC. The second position pilots, that is the HHR team, gets 3,300 rupees plus 3 Zeus F745 stacks. And the third and the fourth position, I think the third position is team KKR, if I'm not mistaken, and that's rupees 2,100 plus 3 Zeus F722 FC 30 by 30 stack. And then team TRV, who was in the fourth position, gets rupees 1,900 Get TBS coupon. Again, thank you GetTBS.in very much for that those coupons, and plus 3 Zeus F722 Mini FC 20 by 20 by HGLRC. And finally, the remaining positions at fifth position. I think the fifth position also is pretty much there. I think it's Mumbai, who won it at 1,800 rupees Get TBS coupon. And finally, 6th, 7th, and 8th came in. 8th position, I think, is Team Bangalore with 1,200 rupees. 6th position is 1,700 rupees. And 7th position is 1,400 rupees going to team, I believe 6th is Team Punjab or 7th is Team Punjab. We'll have to look it up, but we'll announce the final thing with the whole prize distribution. We'll put it up on our social media and our individual pages and our IDRL app. So do reach us out there if you have any questions. But right now, we are pulling it all away, getting all of you off the grid now for season 2. It was a wonderful, wonderful take on this. And again, we missed Rati out here, but we'll be seeing him with the D1X IDRL. So keep in mind, now immediately the next Saturday, D1X IDRL is coming up for season number 3, and this is going to be recorded in 2 Saturdays. So it's going to be only for 2 Saturdays, and it's going to be a long session. It's going to be all recorded, and then it's going to be separately aired with all the edits and things like that. So we'll keep you updated on that as well. But right now, it's all done out here. So wish you all the best. This is from our studios, IDRL Studios and Theatre in Mumbai. Sleep well, good night, and do well for the rest of the year. Wishing you all tremendous success. We'll see you soon, and God bless and good night.